But one of the biggest mistakes is sellers still assume they have to pay 5 or 6% in commissions to get their house sold. That's just not the case. I think the biggest change is just the overall market, the condition of the market. We've 4, 5, 6 years ago, we were in a very, very strong seller's market where we put a house on the market. We sold it in one day with 5 to 10 offers, all over full price. That was fueled mainly by low interest rates. Today, we've totally flipped and we're in more of I'd say, balanced market to a leaning towards buyer's market scenario. And that, again, is driven by interest rates. The interest rates went from 2.75%. Today, they're 6.25%. So that's kind of driven the change that we're seeing right now. Right now, the market the way it is, I think the biggest factors are motivation and urgency. So the why and when that you need to move. The why being, is it a life-changing situation? Are you getting transferred by a job? Are you an empty nester? You want to downsize? Are you going to have more kids? You want a bigger house? So the motivation is a key factor. The other thing is the urgency. If you're getting transferred in your job, how soon? Is it 60 days you need to move, 90 days, things of that nature? When you're either way, what you want to do is make sure that the pricing is correct. Because again, the market we're in right now, if it's priced right and you have a well-maintained house, it'll sell in a reasonable amount of time. If it's not priced right, it's going to sit for a long time. So I would say motivation, urgency, and pricing, the key factors. But one of the biggest mistakes is sellers still assume they have to pay 5 or 6% in commissions to get their house sold. That's just not the case. There was a lawsuit, a class action lawsuit 2 years ago, which made commissions much, much more negotiable. So there's a lot of negotiability in commissions, and there's set fee models now, lots of different models that people can use in order to get their home sold. The other thing is not using a very experienced agent in the sale. You want to get somebody who's been in the business a while, who knows how to negotiate, who knows how to get you the best terms and conditions in the sale. That's going to save you thousands of dollars. The other thing is, again, I go back to pricing. Many sellers price their home too high to start with, and then the house sits for a long period of time. So over time, seller urgency goes up, and buyers see the house sitting there, so they're starting to make lower offers. And because the seller's urgency went up, they're more likely to accept an offer that they wouldn't have accepted early on in the process. So those are some of the mistakes that sellers use. I had a buyer client who was out driving one day and saw an open house from another realtor, stopped in and saw the house, called me and said he wanted to make an offer on that property. It was a $1.5 million property. The seller on that property ended up paying $90,000 in commission, okay? And if that seller had listed with our company, for an example, the total fees would have been somewhere in the neighborhood of $12,000. So that would have been a huge savings. And just an example of how, shopping around a little bit, looking for the best value in real estate can save you a ton of money. A set fee in plain English means just that. Basically, a commission for every dollar your house goes up in price, you're paying more commission. A set fee is the same whether your house is $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. When we started Help You Sell, we went out to sellers and we said, what did you like? What did you not like about your last real estate transaction? Sellers told us they didn't understand why, if they had a $400,000 house, they had to pay $6,000 more than their neighbor down the street that had a $300,000 house. They wanted to know, what are we doing different between those two deals? And the answer is nothing. It's the same process for both houses. So why would one seller have to pay $6,000 more than the other? So we charge a set fee because we're a consumer-driven system where we've gone out to the consumer, said, how would you like to see real estate done? And then we formed a company around it. And that was one of the major things, was a set fee. Full service is everything from beginning to end. In other words, we'll go out and we'll consult with a seller on price, what's a good marketing price for their house. We'll consult with them on staging the house, getting the house ready to sell, curb appeal, everything that's going to get them the most dollar out of their house, the most value. From there, we do all the marketing. In fact, we probably do more marketing than most companies do. In addition to that, we negotiate the best terms and conditions that we can for the seller. We pre-qualify buyers. We handle inspections. And once you're getting into inspections, well, now you're starting negotiating all over again, because the buyer is going to ask for certain repairs and seller may or may not want to do that. So that's part of the negotiations, and again, why you want to have a very experienced agent. From there, we monitor appraisals, the loan process, go to closing with the seller, answer any questions that come up at closing, review the settlement statement to make sure that there's no mistakes in that. So, from A to Z, anything that anybody else would do, we do it. What I would recommend, if you're thinking in the next 3 to 6 months that you're going to be selling, start thinking ahead of time, start planning ahead of time. I would set up a free consultation with us to come out, take a look at the house. We can give you tips and suggestions on how to get the house ready, what to do as far as staging the house, what to do as far as curb appeal. We can work with you on pricing, give you an idea of what homes are selling for in the community, what a good market price would be. So that would be the first steps that I would do, is start planning ahead and start getting the house ready to sell by decluttering and staging the house so it shows its best face.